Madam Dora, as a former Greek ambassador here in Skopje and Macedonia, what's your assessment? What do you think? How the process will go further?
Listen, I don't participate in the team of the negotiations. All I know is kind of information out of friends, out of the press, and so on, and my personal interpretations, if you want. So I think that the thing started in a positive way this time, because at least for the first time we were having the acceptance of a composite name on behalf of an official on your part. Until now, and since 1993, all the Greek governments have been negotiating on this basis, on the perspective of a composite solution, of a composite name. Now it's the first time it is accepted by the other side. Of course, ever since the beginning of this process, many things happened, and especially these rallies which took place in the meantime, and they did not add it in a positive way, because all these are unnecessary political cost. Generally speaking, since we are in the beginning, I am positive. I believe that we will come to a conclusion before June. But I keep my fingers crossed. I don't know.
The geographical reference for the composite name as a compromise solution looks like deal done. But then there are others. There are other demands from the Greek side, like, for example, erga omnes. How do you understand this demand? Why it's so important for Greece?
I'm telling you, this kind of erga omnes has different interpretations. It did not start the way it is raised now. In my time, when Nimitz proposed his proposal, Republic of Macedonia - Skopje, which was accepted by the Greek side, okay, we had heard this erga omnes. But at that time, it was something like a proposal on behalf of the Security Council of the United Nations to the countries which have recognized you under your constitutional name to recognize your country with the newly accepted name, the mutually accepted name. Now, for the last 2 months at least, maybe because of the precipitation and ahead of the repercussions of the forthcoming rallies, we've started talking about changing the constitution, your constitution. I don't know. I don't really know.
Do you think that it would be necessary to change the constitution?
Towards this direction, as Mr. Zaev said, and that your side, which has a different interpretation of how the thing is going to go on. We have a negotiation process ahead. We will see.
And one important thing for Macedonian side is so-called identity issues. If there is another Macedonia, there is understanding about the necessity of the geographical division. But then when we are talking about the language, there is no other Macedonian language, and it would be very difficult to accept any changes within a Macedonian language as such.
Listen, the Greek people, ever since the whole issue was created with following the dissolution of the old Yugoslavia, has been bombarded with the propaganda that it did not exist a Macedonian nation and therefore a Macedonian language. I'm not an ethnologue myself, but I don't put the issue there. Since we have a problem with your name and you have the disposal to talk about this, and since we're talking about a composite name, the second name is going to be Macedonia, either in Cyrillic alphabet or in English or whatever. So this is what the Greek nationalists did not like. That's why they did not like a composite name with including the word Macedonia or Macedonian, because they wanted to exclude the national dimension
all
of
adjectives
your
with Macedonian
language. But I hope we're not there anymore. I hope. It's my personal hope.
And one last question, Madame Grossomanidou. What do you understand by irredentism in Macedonia? The constitution was changed a long time ago in order to eliminate all suspicions about the possible irredentism in Macedonia.
Here we are listening to analysis of the type of your preamble, which refer to the Kruševo Declaration. And there I understand there is a dimension of unifying, let's say, the whole Macedonian people of the area. And secondly, about a particular article which is talking about the liberalization of territories which belong traditionally to the whole area of Macedonia.
But it was changed,
the protection of national minorities. I know.
We have changed
we have recently had this declaration and statement made by former foreign minister and professor of constitutional law, Mr. Venizelos, who said that even by signing and deposing the interim agreement in the United Nations, all those references of your constitution are included there. Mm-hmm. That means that you have recognized that you don't have, let's say, views or intentions to conquer whatever territory of your neighbors, or, let's say, to protect the rights of people who are self-determined as Macedonians in neighboring countries. And therefore, this interim agreement has the form of an international agreement, and that prevails to your constitution. Mm-hmm. So there is no reason to talk about that anymore.
Mm-hmm. Okay, tk you very much, Madam Dora.
Interpretation.
Have a nice evening.